get real.
Bad news on the job front. Another round of executive orders, unrest out west, and tweets that make you go, what? I'm Michelle Mortensen, and this is what you need to know right now, this Thursday, January 21st, 2021. The White House on Thursday said it is critical that Congress act quickly on President Biden's proposals for coronavirus economic relief after a report showed that 900,000 Americans filed new unemployment claims last week.
Ooh, yikes, that is huge.
Now, while I agree that Congress acting quickly on anything is vitally important, it should be noted that stimulus checks are not going to reverse the jobs numbers that we're seeing. The only thing that's going to fix that is ending the lockdowns and reopening the economy. Nothing else will work.
That's the honest truth.
President Biden also addressed today how his administration will address COVID plans. And instead of offering words of hope or encouragement, he basically said, our darkest days are ahead.
Things are going to continue to get worse before they get better.
In addition to his Debbie Downer moment, he also has put forth a 100-day mask mandate, and he's mandating that masks be used on all interstate travel, like buses, trains, etc. Hasn't that already always been required?
Pretty much.
Now, he's also requiring anyone who is boarding a plane outside of the U.S. to come into the U.S. that they must prove that they are COVID-free with a COVID test before boarding that plane. And then when they get here, they're supposed to quarantine. Now, there's no word on why someone who does not have COVID would need to quarantine or what science even backs that action up. Also, no word on how any of this is going to be enforced. Are federal authorities going to be tracking every single person who comes into the United States by plane from now on? Or is that a job for the states? They're going to track all their visitors. And shouldn't this be very difficult to do with open borders?
Damn, you're right.
All of these questions are really actually pretty great, not just because they're mine, but because they need to be asked. Sadly, though, no one was able to ask President Biden any of these questions because just as it was during the Biden campaign, the Biden presidency pretty much doesn't want to talk to reporters whatsoever.
Basically where the U.S. is right now.
When I announced it, you all said it's not possible. Come on, give me a break, man.
Come on, you guys.
That's a good start. 100 million. Thank you.
Let's go.
You can say whatever you want about President Trump, but he did make himself readily available to a media that was purposely aggressive and against every single thing that he did.
Ain't that the truth?
President Biden also said he does want to see schools reopen within the next 100 days. Here's the problem. Schools should be open right now. Even Dr. Fauci admits the safest place for kids to be is at school. And I just want to remind everyone out there, in case you're not a parent, 100 days from now is practically the end of the school year. There is no need to wait 100 days. We need action now.
You should be running this office.
Meanwhile, unrest and violence exploded along the West Coast overnight as riots in Portland and Seattle took very violent turns. Everything from ICE buildings to Democratic headquarters were attacked by protesters. Why were they protesting and doing this? Well, the participants say they were showing their displeasure with law enforcement and with newly sworn in President Biden.
No worse, protesters. You can't stop me from living my life.
In Twitter news, members of the mainstream media showed off their bias in a series of tweets all day long yesterday. None of that should really be a surprise to you at all, but it really does show what the people in charge of digging for information and truth, what they really believe in and how they really feel. Now, my favorite tweet came from Matt Dornick. He's the head of communications over at CNN, and he tweeted this. Yes, it's a picture of fireworks going off. And he said, this team, meaning Biden and Harris, really understands optics. And this is inspiring our friends and shaking our foes.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
If our foes are shaken by some fireworks, they all must be toddlers who don't like loud noises.
Loud noises!
I'm scared.
Finally, if you're wondering who Joe Biden is following on Twitter now that he has the POTUS account, it looks like he's only following about 12 people, most of which make total sense, like Ron Klain, his chief of staff. But there was one rogue Twitter follow on that list of 12. Yeah, POTUS is choosing to follow Chrissy Teigen. Why would anyone want to follow Chrissy Teigen unless you really like mindless tweets from a B-list wannabe celebrity? I mean, then it kind of makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
And that's what you need to know right now. I'm Michelle Mortensen. You can check out what you need to know right now every single Monday through Thursday around 6:30 p.m. It's the news you want, the way you want, pretty fast, none of the crap, and actually a little funny and entertaining. I will see you here next week, and be sure to tune in for the Michelle Mortensen Show tomorrow at noon. I'll see you then.
Time to get real.